I heard everything they were saying about me at my back, and she couldn't even confront me about it to know whether what she heard about me was true or false. And even if it was true, to at least counsel me against my action as a friend should. It was so obvious she finds delight in my downfall. But since I wasn't guilty of what they were saying about me, I didn't budge. I didn't confront her either. I've never been good at confronting people who hurt me, and so I watched her from afar. I watched the sudden closeness between her and her gossip partners and allowed them to shine on with my name in the mud. But after some weeks, she started coming close to me again, and I sensed she was just coming close to me so she could pry into my private life, either by monitoring my phone calls or text messages with Uncle Success. But I was already done with her. Whenever I see her coming to my house, I would hide myself at the back of the door. And when she arrives, my mom, who had no idea about what was going on, would tell her that I am in the room. But when she enters the room, she won't find me because I was in hiding. I had practically stopped visiting her house, and I didn't want her to visit my house either. And that was how our friendship went, sir. Uncle Success, who did not grow up in the village and had only traveled down to write his senior WAEC, later traveled back to the city, but we were still communicating on the phone. And within the 6 months of relating with him, I had gone from acting as his girlfriend to getting affectionate with him for real. And that was when the problem started. The problem started when he told me he found a female friend at a jam center where he was attending lessons, and the girl was also attending lesson there. They became friends. She was from a rich family and drives a jeep to listen at that tender age. So you can imagine how rich her parents were. And she liked Uncle Success. The girl wasn't promiscuous, but loved his jovial and free spirit, and they started getting along very well. He told me everything about her, and I had no problem with that, since he already told me that the girl is very decent and not loosed. As a matter of fact, that girl was also very naive like myself. She always gave him lifts in the car from the lesson center to his street, and one of those days they both kissed each other in the car. He felt bad, called to tell me about it, and I was pained while he apologized and explained that both of them did not know how it happened and that the girl has been crying since then. Being inexperienced, she must have fallen for his free spirit and jovial nature like I did. But was I really in love with him? I can't even tell, but I felt jealous that he kissed another girl. Well, I accepted the apologies, but gave him a condition to stay away from her, and he promised to do so. And it wasn't long before the jam lesson came to an end and they stopped seeing each other. The longest he ever stayed without having sex was 10 months since we became close, and he was very happy. He celebrated each of the months he lived a sexually pure life, but then he fell into fornication just before his 1 year celibacy, and he wept so bitterly. I really felt for him. I could literally hear him crying over the phone, and had to keep blames and condemnations aside so he doesn't feel discouraged. After a few days of speaking to him and encouraging him over the phone, he picked up his broken pieces, rose again, and tried to continue, but it seems like hell has vowed not to let him go. In just 1 month, he fell into fornication with three different people at three different occasions. And once he finished with them, he'll call me to let me know what happened, crying. I felt devastated. I didn't know what else to tell him, and I was running out of patience because I couldn't just understand what came over him and how he was getting those girls to have sex with him so easily and would not even tell me about them until after he must have finished sleeping with them. Out of anger, I told him I was not doing anymore since he wasn't keeping to the rules anymore, but he began to plead with me not to give up on him. I gave him another chance and he failed again, then another chance and he failed repeatedly. I tried not to give up on him, and some of those times I even cried with him on the phone, prayed for him. I started having fears when he called me one day, as usual, to tell me that he has fallen again. I asked to know how it happened, and he told me that he was upstairs, saw a girl downstairs, and hurriedly went down to meet her at the gate. He said he didn't even tell the girl anything other than come, and the girl started following him without asking any question. He wasn't he hasn't met the girl before, and there was no negotiation whatever. Yet the girl followed him into the house and into his room, and he had sex with her without any resistance. And immediately they finished doing it, the girl stood up and left without uttering a word. How can you even have sex with someone you don't even know? I cried over the phone, and as I asked him, I don't know how it happened. He cried back in response. I only realized myself after doing it, and since 3 days that this thing happened, I've not seen that girl pass this road again. I've been afraid to tell you this, but my conscience won't let me keep it from you. He cried like a baby. I wouldn't say I gave up on him. I only became afraid because I felt so strongly that he must have had sex with a demon possessed girl. And my continuing with him in such a relationship endanger my future. That very day was the day I confirmed that demons are real and that they can manifest in human form. I began to retrace my step back within me, but kept communicating, and the kind of strange dreams he began to have and was sharing with me were clear indication that he was under serious demonic bondage that was beyond me. The dreams were so scary. Even even himself confessed that he needed deliverance. While this was going on privately between me and Uncle Success, one day I was discussing something with my friend Iye, And she didn't know when she opened her mouth and confessed that she intentionally gave my phone number to Uncle Success to see whether I would fall. Hmm. You're always doing righteous, righteous, like say, now you only pass. So you later fall for Uncle Success with all those your holy holy. Uncle Success told me that he will get you, oh. Say make I give him your number, but I don't believe him until the day he told me that you have agreed for him and that you even came to his house. Me, I be didn't think say now only me they follow man. They do all these boyfriend and girlfriend things. Last, you two don't join, and even Grace too. I know say she fit get one boy where she did do her own with secrets. My friend was talking to me, and I saw how happy she was that I fell for the guy she gave my number to. And I just smiled at her without a word. My own friend rejoicing that I had fallen into the hand of a bad boy. Prior before Uncle Success came into the picture, I knew she had a boyfriend or two. She was saying, and I was advising her against what she was doing. I didn't know that that was what she termed holy holy, and so wanted me to become like her so I won't have any justifiable reason to condemn her or make her feel bad about what she was doing. I remember the words of my mother to me. She used those words on me several times because I had so many friends, and these friends were mostly Christian folks in the school, which I felt were harmless. But each time my mother set her eyes on any of them, she would tell me, Chinwe, if a friend doesn't kill you in this life, nothing again can kill you in this life before your time. My mother made this statement more than 5 times as far as I can remember, and that statement began to make sense from the experience I had with my two close friends that period. I practically became a very secretive person from those experiences, and the desire for making friends began to die down. One day, I called Uncle Success that I am done and can no longer do that with him anymore. You've really tried for me, and I can never for I can never get angry with you. I will forever respect you till I die. You did what all the girls I have met in this life has not done, and I can boldly say you are a true Christian. But please, I want to ask you for one favor. Please don't stop praying for me, he requested, and I felt like crying for him. I wish I could help, but his problem was obviously above my power, and I didn't want to lose my own salvation either. We ended it there peacefully, and I moved on with my life. But 2 years after graduating from secondary school, I literally forgot that I was born again.